Go over there with him. He doesn't know what to do. He's scared. So he's going to try and jump down. He's going to try and jump down. He's scared.
Say hi, everybody. Be the center of attention today. Put your butt down. There we go. Good boy. Hi guys. I turned it on early because I'm just standing here waiting. So this gives everyone a chance to find today's video since I am on this week instead of next week. But that's because I'm going to QuiltCon. Oh, hi, I'm Tiffany. Welcome to my quilting life. This is Thumper. He likes to hang out on the floor in here. And that's where he was, sniffing around at everything. So we decided to let him say hi to everybody. Say hi. Yeah. He's purring. Purring. All right, I'll put you down if you don't want to be up here because you're not a sewing kitty.
He says, I'm never up there, Mama.
He's not a sewing kitty whatsoever. There's probably not very many people here yet because, well, I'm on just a little bit earlier. Well, literally by minutes. Teresa, Tracy, Mary, Rebel Row, Cheryl, Anne, Judy, Linda, Gloria, Roseanne, Joy, Mary, Rena, Norma, Karen. Lots. Oh. Yep. Lots of you here. Hello and welcome. Glad you all could make it. I totally forgot to set. Scott put the reminder in the Facebook group that I was coming on today, but not everybody sees that in the morning. But also, I was supposed to put it in the community tab that yes, I decided to come on today instead of making a video for next week. So I did preparate everything behind me, as you can see, except for 2 blocks worth to show you how to do that. Because let me tell you, it's a biatch. I could say that word because it's not really the straight word. These blocks drove me crazy because everything's on the bias. It's stretched. All the cuts didn't make them line up. So like, I don't know. Can they see this row? Yeah, I'm pointing at it. This is like super wonky because it had to be trimmed while it was being sewn. Most of the little points didn't match up. I didn't end with points on a lot of these. Like, it got all wonky because the glitter. So glitter and bias, I'm never sewing again. I know I say never, but I really am never going to sew glitter fabric, bias cuts. No more. Not happening. All it did is stretch and yank, and even with just pressing, it was still distorting everything. So I'm glad this is the last of the glitter fabric. This thing isn't working. What the heck's going on here? So yeah, I decided to save 2 blocks worth to show you guys the craziness I've been going through. And when I'm talking about matching things up, I'm talking about, even though I cut these, I trimmed everything again. I retrimmed it all to 11.5. It was at 12. I trimmed it all to 11.5 because I was losing my points on a lot of them. Because again, glitter fabric stretched funky, so I wasn't getting the exact cut. But when I put these together like this on the sides, some of these points right here and here on this crossover part, you know, right there, this section is like a 1/2 inch bigger. I'm like, what the heck is going on here? So I'm trimming as I go, and then I have to trim once the block is put together, which I'm going to show you because I'm not doing this again, not with glitter fabric. I'll do it again in black and white because I think in black and white this would look perfect, and I think 1.5 inch strips would look even better, and probably sew even better. All right, so since you can see right here, this is a good thing. I am going to go ahead and lay these the way they need to be. So they're going to be light touches light, dark touches dark. You can even see right here. This one's like almost a 1/4 inch bigger. But I'm going to fudge it because all of this is on the bias. So you can fudge your seams. So that's what we're going to do here, is fudge some seams. I do have to tell you, for the longest time, my foot pedal was on this thing, right? Well, then I took it off because I got Velcro, though somebody sent me Velcro. And then I Velcroed my pedal to the floor. That didn't work very long either. Being glued on and Velcroed, it doesn't work. So, guess what works? Oh, no, wait. I'm trying to get this up. It is a Stay Put pedal pad by the Gypsy Quilter. This thing is now staying. Problem is, when I stand...
Where'd you get that at?
In my open gate box last
Oh.
month, I think.
That's awesome.
Or
You
the
didn't
month
tell
before.
me.
Either way, it's a Stay Put pedal pad. The only problem is every now and then I go to stand to quilt. This thing is such a Stay Put pedal pad, I can't move it with my foot and slide my pedal off of it so that I can stand and sew. I actually have to bend down, pick it up, move the pedal, and then put it back down, put the pedal back on it. Because, yeah. So if you have hard floors, because I have one of those floor hard things right here for the desk chair to roll on. If you have a hard floor, I highly, highly recommend this. Now, I'm loving it. So just thought I would share that little tidbit with y'all. But yeah, now my pedal doesn't move at all. And the problem is if I don't put it in the right position, I have to bend down every time to move it. But I saved the wrapper so that I could tell you guys about that. So I remembered to tell you. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to...
How many blocks total for this quilt?
16 blocks. I had to sew 2 pieces of scraps together, which you can't tell. I can't even tell where they are. Oh, here's one. See, it has a seam right here, a seam right here, seam right there, and right there. I made the whole block, but you can't even tell really. So I needed 16 because it only yielded, the 2 jelly rolls yielded me 15 blocks, but all that left over, if I'd have just cut 11.5 inches to start with, I probably would have had more room to get a full block instead of having to piece my scraps together. But
why would smaller strips be better?
I think smaller strips would be better because they won't stretch as much. These are like, and I don't want to stretch it too much, but these are just, they're too big. I mean, it creates a great illusion though. Wait until you see the rest of this all on there because I have a feeling it's going to look amazing. But definitely smaller cuts. Even 2-inch strips would probably be better than 2.5. So, all right, I'm sewing them. Oops. I was sewing leaders onto for long arm stuff. I forgot to change the stitch. So I'm just nesting these seams. I'm also flipping them. Can you turn the iron on? I totally forgot. It needs to be on.
Yes, ma'am.
Starting on a diagonal, and then this one's going to go in like this, and I'm going to sew on this side. That's what I did on that one, except the point went in first. I'm literally just nesting these seams and flipping them as I go, which it doesn't matter at the iron because I flip it all back the way I'm pushing it. Just to get the best of what I can from all this stretching, and I want it to somewhat match up. All right, and while that's sitting on here, I'm going to take the next one and do that same thing. So I'm going to put my darks together on one side and my lights together on the outside on the other. I'm going to put it right sides together and start at the point. If you're sewing on a different kind of sewing machine that has the open hole at the bottom, it'd probably be best if you start at the squared side so it doesn't suck the fabric down in. But since I'm a straight stitch machine, I don't have to worry about that. And I'm just trimming the dog ears as I go. And then I'm going to repeat. None of this is lining up. Telling you this is one drive me crazy quilt. But the end results are fabulous. Simply fabulous. Definitely put my foot pedal in the wrong position. I'm telling you, that thing like sticks to the ground so good. All right, so I'm going to keep my two together. Those two go together. And these two go together. Oops, but I snipped them apart. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the iron, and I am going to press, see how I flipped that seam? I'm just going to go ahead and press it the opposite direction where, you know, I flipped it, and press this one that way, and so on and so forth. And then I'll do the same with this one. And then when I go to put them together, right sides together, then all the seams should be in opposite directions. They should be. Whether they are or not, I don't know. But I have to be careful pressing them. You can turn the camera so they can see. This is one heck of a block to press. So I'm finger pressing this one to the one side. And then all I can do, because I can't drag the iron at all, I literally have to pick it up. But since it's sticking to the, there's a word for it, to the glitter, it's re-stretching it right back out again as soon as I pick the iron up. And then this one, I'm going to press the opposite direction. So I have to finger press it first as best as possible. And then I just have to hold it open and drop the iron on it, sticky or not. And hope that it stays flat. So that one is sort of pressed. I didn't even bother flipping the seam. Did you notice that? I'm just not in the mood now. So I'm going to press this one this way with my finger, and this one that way with my finger. And it doesn't help that the tone-on-tone fabric has that plastickiness to it also. This is just not the best quilt for this stuff.
Put pressing cloth out.
No, pressing cloth will not help because I can't get a flat seam with a pressing cloth. All right, so I'm going to take these back over the sewing machine now. And I am going to put these now right sides together. And then all these are in opposite directions. And you can see, look at that. If I nest this seam right here at the top, this next seam is off by 1/8 of an inch. This next seam is off by 1/8 of an inch. This center doesn't even match. Those are okay. This one doesn't even match. Look at, they don't even come near each other. And this one is way below. So it's going to be hard trying to get these correct. But let's go to the sewing machine and make them as flat as I can. You can just turn the camera facing this way because we're going to go back that way in a minute.
I gotcha.
All right, so you can pin, I guess. I didn't pin anything. I just held it with my fingers, but I highly recommend pinning. If you're doing this same project, pin it. Pin a lot. I'm stretching it purposely to make the seams match. And since this is bias, you can do that. Oh my God, that's way off. There. I want them to somewhat match up, you know, like, I just want it to be somewhat nice. So So I stop in the seam though, so that I can line up that next seam. Okay, come on. All right, then. All right. So here's what it looks like. So I'm just going to give it a finger nudge to whatever side it seems like it wants to lay. And then I'll take it over and iron it. I really didn't care which way they go because I'm just going to flip seams if I have to, putting it together. It's going to be all over the place. All right, back to the iron. And you can see just by doing this, even finger pressing, this does not lay flat because I've stretched it like crazy. All right. Which way did I push that? I pushed it this way. So, because again, bias, I'm going to pick the iron up, place it down, and then what I've been doing is this is my starch mix. I want it to get stiff. Now, the golden rule, if you're doing stuff that has bias crossing it, your best way to press is like this, right? And like this, side to side and up and down, not cattywampus on the diagonal. Don't iron like that. And since I'm got glitter, I can't do any of that. I have to be very careful, but still grabbing the tone on tone. So I can go this way, like this. Very carefully, like. But don't go this way, because if you do, look, it just does that. Don't do that. Don't do what I just showed you not to do. Trying to just get that starch dried. All right, there's one. Set it aside. Try to force that seam. So I have the seam first is what I'm doing. I'm just picking it up, placing it on the seam. Trying not to have any folds or pleats in it because that will change the size of the block, but we're trimming the blocks down anyway. So I press that seam. Look at all that fullness. Since I quilt my own quilts, I can quilt all this out. So that's no big deal to me. So again, I can't even push on this one.
How about parchment paper? Would that work?
Parchment paper? I don't have any parchment paper. It probably would work though, but I don't have any. So I have to literally pick it up and put it down on this one because it's tone on tone. Stay. And look, I didn't even bother cleaning the iron because it's just a disaster. But you see all that yuck? That's all glitter fabric. Just moisten my iron cleaner. Clean enough until the next set. All right, now we're going to turn the camera over here.
How did you make your spray starch?
The spray starch is made with this right here. This is the cheapest starch, and guess what? It gets things really stiff. And in the military, Scott said that this is what they use in the military too. So
yeah, that's all we use.
yeah, this is all they use, and they have really crispy clothes in the military. Good stuff. If you do too much though, if your mixture is not right, you will get a nice big chunks of white stuff coming off of the fabrics.
Someone stole my seat.
Seat thief. All right. I have a 15-inch ruler here. It's my Omnigrid 15-inch ruler. If you don't have one, just line it up on your cutting mat at 15 inches and put your points at the points of the 15-inch mark where you need to cut. I'm just going to go ahead and use my ruler because, well, I have one, and, you know, but if you don't, so you would line this up, point coming out here, point coming out there, there, and there, and then you would cut on those lines. That way you have it right. So I'm going to line my diagonal line on the ruler on the seam, this, and these blocks do not, I repeat, do not match. These ends are all wonkalicious.
What's the ratio of stay flow to water?
I think it's a quarter. I don't have my glasses on.
You want me to read it?
Mix 1 part stay flow, 2 parts water, and then it just shows you how to mix it by heavy, medium, light. It's on the bottle. I don't make a heavy starch because I don't usually use starch, but when I do, that's what I use. I'm just get a dollar store spray bottle. That's what I have from the Dollar Tree, and it works for what I need. So I'm trimming the whole block. I'm not moving anything. I'm just going around my desk because I have the availability to do so. I messed up this end because it caught the glitter. Right there. Move all this away to the garbage. And then repeat. So this block is going to face this way. Next. And if you, like I said, if you don't have the 15-inch ruler, lay it on your cutting mat. These are just absolutely wonky from tip to tip. The points of the rulers are not landing on the points of the block. So some of these, I think that's why it looks so cool on the board, is because, you know, hanging up on the wall, is because it's kind of wonky. Some are skinnier than others. And it's a good thing there's no points to match now that it's a block. There's no points when I go to put the blocks together, so it makes it, some of these are now super skinny, like this one is a lot skinny, but it creates that illusion anyway, even with my not perfect blocks. All right, so I'm gonna put this up here. All right, so let me show you the whole thing on the wall. Sorry. So if you have the ability to take a screenshot, here is the general idea. This is how the chart is. So that's how you create that illusion. So there's the chart. You can see in this illusion, there's a lot of pieces. So it's literally just focus, focus, focus. See that? So there's the little chart. So if I wanted to make this to like a king size quilt, I would probably make 4 more rows this way, and do 8 across by 10 down probably for a king size. Unless you want a square quilt, then you can do an 8 by 8. But it doesn't need any borders or anything, so time to put this together. And I think I'm just going to stand and do so because I like to stand and I've been having problems with sitting. So my giant ruler can get put away. Okay, ruler is away. So now I'm just going to take my blocks, sew them together. Again, I got to bend down to move the mat for the pedal and hope that this is a good position for it. Now my blocks are all the same size, so whether the 2 points on these ends match together or not is whatever. As long as I lay them on top of each other, they're the same exact size. They're all 15-inch blocks. Yeah, some of these will not nest.
Could you use fat quarters to make it?
You can use fat quarters to make this, yeah. All right. I'm going to finger press this one. And then grab the next. Make sure that it's there properly. Line it up. Again, I can't match it, so I'm going to have some bulky come together seams. But I can't control that. Just matching the blocks. That's the best I can do. So these are all going to go to the right, and then the next row will go to the left. But I'm going to press them very carefully in between. Oh, and I didn't plan the layout either. I mean, the colors where they land, I didn't even care to look at all that because it's just glitter. It don't matter. So if there's 2 similars next to each other, oh well. Alright, I'm going to finger press this and I'm going to take it to the iron. And I'm just going to put the iron on top of the seam since I pressed it. There's no sense in dragging the iron. I have to pick it up and place it down. It just gets stuck no matter what I do. No.
Do you need a hand?
No.
Yeah. Is that a yes?
It's not staying up.
Is that a yes? Would you like a hand?
Thank you.
It's that glitter fabric. Glitter fabric. It's
all right. Next. Even though I don't like the glitter, these are really pretty fabrics. They do look lovely. So now I'm going to finger press this row to the left. I'm pressing towards the tone on tone. Even though I don't normally press towards light fabric, I always press to the dark. I'm doing that because it actually presses easier that way than it does to the glitter fabric.
What size did the blocks end up at?
They're 15-inch square blocks. So that means they're going to be 14 and a half. I mean, yeah, 14 and a half inch finished. Just a nice, good finger press. Hi. I came unthreaded. Okay, I'm going to finger press it and then I'll press it with the iron, which helps.
You want me to turn the camera?
Nope, that's just too much turning back and forth. I hit my bad toe. I gotta watch where my feet land. I just hit my toe. Yesterday, my phone fell from this high of a distance and landed with this corner. Well, I don't know which corner, but the point corners landed directly on my middle toe, right at the top by the toenail, and it hurts. So I keep bumping it. All right. I can't bend the toe either or anything, so I probably, hurt it pretty bad. But I drop my phone 500 times a day, and 1 out of 500 times a day, it lands somewhere on my feet. Most times it don't hurt. But my toe, it hurt. Okay, so this row is going to be pressed to the right. This part's easiest to sew up. All those other parts sucked. This is the okay to sew part. Putting it together, all that headache for this easierness. Nothing really to nest or line up except for, the points in the corners, but mine didn't cut properly. So, I mean, honestly, what? Do you see what happened here? I sewed it. Get it?
Oh, yes, I see what happened.
I go sewed because I didn't pay attention that I was out of bobbin. I went to finger press it and it's out of bobbin. Dummy. Let's use up the rest of this one real quick. Put another one in. Let's try that again. Hey, at least it sewed some of it. Okay, that's threaded. This tangled. I made sure it's sewed by putting in a tension checker piece. Alright. Look at this time it's sewed. Miracle. Press to the right. Okay, so I'm going to finger press it and then I'll go to the iron and just tap the iron over it so that it's nice and flat. Alright, row 3.
Why is it called your oopsie?
It's called my oopsie because so Sunday I tried to make it and then I ended up making something else because I made a strip tube instead. And then I realized after the live, oh, you know what? It doesn't need to be a strip tube. I need to cut it this way. So I decided to call it oopsie because it's sewing it this way. And you know what? It is a giant oopsie because I'm messing everything up with this thing. So it's just an oopsie quilt. Oopsie. I didn't mean for that to turn out that way, but I have no control over this glitter and tone-on-tone fabric. I'm telling you, this is not a good combination whatsoever. I am never doing it again. This is one of those one and done combos, you know? Technically it's 2 and done because I made another quilt and matching pillowcases to go with it from the other one. Oh, this one's all going to the left. Finger press to the left. Last one to sew on, and then we can put the roses together, which may require me to sit. This is good exercise though, standing and sewing, because I'm back and forth, moving around instead of sitting in a chair. It's good exercise. Get my steps in. Although I don't count my steps. Do you count your steps?
Well, some people have the watch thing.
Yeah, that watch thing. Yeah.
Yeah, the Fitbit or whatever it's called.
I don't think it's called a Fitbit anymore. Apple watches and
I know.
Samsung watches do it.
No, I'd be happy to still use a VCR. You know me. I'm old school.
Ah, don't stick. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and try to remember that what I'm doing here. I'm going to put row 3 on top of row 4. And I'm not going to get a good nesting. I mean, I'll be able to nest the seams this way, but all of these points are going to get lost because, like I said, my blocks did not come out great. I'll be able to nest it, but not match the seams. You know what I mean? Let's see if I can do this standing, or if I'm going to have to sit. It pulls a lot when you're standing, so. If I just hold it nicely, it shouldn't be too hard. So I'm going to nest that next seam. I gotta remember 3 is on top of 4, so I'm gonna very carefully take this over to the iron just like this, because 3 is on top of 4. I don't want to put it together wrong, so I'm just gonna
turn the iron for this.
force the seam back with my fingers first. No, you don't have to, and then I'll press it with the iron.
Here, when you're talking.
Just a good push back. And then I'm just going to go on top of it with the iron because I cannot run the iron across it. I just have to pick it up and set it down. And in the midst of all that, I'm actually going to use steam. I'm my own long arm quilter, you know, so since I do all of my own, I don't mind quilting this for myself. And actually the seam isn't as bulky as I thought it would be. This one kind of is, but the rest of them, they're pretty flat. Who knew? All right, 3 is on top of 4, so this goes up here. You can turn the camera.
Yeah, I'm getting there.
Sure that it's correct. I don't want to sew it incorrect. There's 3 on top of 4. So now we're going to put 1 on top of 2. Match the end and then nest that. Put it under the machine first because I'm standing. Nest that first seam and just hold everything nice and flat. Go to the next one and repeat. I really thought creating that pinwheel in the middle would make this really bad, but it's not. It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Oh, right there. And together. one is on top of two, so very carefully.
It's not empty.
No, I just put it down there because I need room.
Oh.
Again, at the ironing board, I really can't press, so I gotta push it back with my fingers first.
What's the name of this pattern?
This pattern is called Oopsie.
Okay.
It's magic. It's a magic Oopsie. It like creates an illusion, and a magic illusion. I'm literally forcing the seam open also so that I don't press any creases into it.
Would it be better to cut the strips parallel to the selvage instead of perpendicular?
Probably. But this was a jelly roll, so I had no control over that. All right. One is on top of two, so we're going to go back over here, except this time I'm going to go to the desk. That should be the top. That means this. Is correct. So flip it over like this. And then cup a squat. Move my foot pedal. It's the only thing. I like to like swap between sitting and standing, and I have to constantly pick up that foot pedal. It's amazing, that little gripper thing. All it is like shelf liner with binding around it, honestly, but it's a thicker than shelf liner that I've ever seen.
I was gonna say, we have shelf liner. We could have just made one.
Yeah, we could make them and sell them. Call it Stay Put, which my fabric is not doing. I lay it on top. There we go. All right. So a little bit, that's that seam. They're all in opposite directions. I'm surprised that, oh, nope. I was going to say, I'm surprised that bobbin is still going.
But
it ran out. It's not going. I was going to say, that lasted a real long time. I didn't have barely anything on it. Let's find another one. It's not red. I don't want to use red on white. This one barely has anything on it. Let's use. Well, that's somewhere now. Here we go. A full one. We'll have to find that other one later. Oh. I don't know if you guys remember that I had showed you. I have a few of these that have bobbins in them, and I'm trying to use them all up. So I'm not really carrying, except this has white, so I didn't want to use a dark one. But I actually used a whole case worth of bobbins up so far. Except for this project. It's a miracle. And I just barely started doing that a couple, like 2 months ago.
If you use 1.5 strips, what size triangle would you cut?
What's 1.5 times 4?
6, I guess.
What?
6.
So 5. It would be 5-inch triangles, I think. I'd have to make it, honestly. Make a strip unit of it. right, coming up on the end, and all I have to do is press it, and this top will be done. But don't worry, even though I'm finishing early, we could still hang out. I'll find. I saw an idea a while back, and I wrote it down on a piece of paper, and I was figuring since this will be done in a good amount of time, we can try out that idea that I was gonna sew up. I just haven't yet because I've been long arm quilting client quilt. Not sewing in here. All right, I'm gonna press this and then it'll be done. I'm literally gonna open it up. Force that seam with my fingers first. Yeah, it's not as bulky as I thought it was going to be. Oh, look at that. I'm glad. All right, put it on the wall because it's done. It's not getting any borders or anything. It's just staying as it is.
Do you need a hand?
Like it as it is.
Do you need a hand?
I got it.
Are you sure?
All right. Take a look at it. There we go. That looks so awesome.
It does. It looks really cool.
I love it. Even though these are so wonky, like it kind of makes the illusion stronger. The fact that they're not straight either. You know, it really just looks great. And in person, it looks better than it does on camera. Let's see how big it turned out. There were 15-inch blocks. I can't do the math for that because I'm a dummy. Actual measuring thing. Hey, Thumper, you got thread on you.
He lives in a quilter's house. He always has thread on him.
Yeah. $59. It's gonna be 59 by 59. 59. So it's 59 by 59. Look at that. It wasn't as much of a headache to put the whole thing together than it was to put all the pieces together. Once the pieces are together, the rest of it went together with ease. I love it. And I still have all of this scraps to make something else.
Oh, you can make pillowcases again with this one.
I could sure as well make it. All right.
Oh, Maria, give you $20.
Oh, Maria, thank you very, very, very much. All right, let me get these little instructions that I wrote down on how to sew this block that I saw in a video, and I figured I could do it on my own. I don't need a video. I grabbed some scrap fabric. Let's try this out. Do I have enough of these? As I have these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many of these do I have?
Oh yeah, Karen said make a piece backing. That way you use all the glitter on one.
4, 5. I can't put the glitter on the back. I do not
Oh,
want that upon anyone. Plus quilting, it would be horrible. But why would you want the glitter fabric touching your skin on the backs. I mean, the quilt, the back is what touches you. I'd rather that be a smooth cotton backing than have this, because it's kind of rough. I know it'll wash out and it's probably stiffer than it should be because I starched also, but some of it's stiff, but some of it, because of the tone on tone being like that plasticky type stuff. I don't even know what it really is. It's just some kind of whatever. And the glitter, I wouldn't want that on the back. Five? Did I count 5? Did I say that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. All right. I have 5 of each of these 10-inch squares. You can put the camera to where it faces this now. We're going to try. Oh, you can see me. Never mind. You don't have to. You can see it. So my directions tell me to cut 1/4 from the center. 1/4 from this. Do I have to do that on the other one? No. And then these are going to get cut in half. All right, hold on. I'm going to stack all these up and just cut them all at the same time, because I'm doing the same thing with all of these. I'm just testing something. Because if I like it, I'm going to make a whole entire quilt of it. Okay. Let's stack these nicely as well.
So they can see you test a new project to see
Yeah.
for a new video.
Well, I don't know if I'll make a video on it, but I definitely want to.
Well, they don't ever see you test your projects. You test them off camera.
Yeah, I usually do this off camera, but you guys are going to watch me do it on camera since we had plenty of time this morning. So I just have 5 10-inch squares of a solid and 5 10-inch squares of a print. They're just leftovers from the homespun quilt. So I'm cutting the pretty printed fabric 1/4 inch away from the center on the diagonal. So I'm literally going to put the 1/4 inch line up on here, cut all those exactly like that, and then I'm going to cut the solids in half, exactly in half. Like that. And then I'm going to move this, bless you, out of the way. I'm going to grab the ones that have the 1/4 inch extra matched with the half of this. So the one that I cut 1/4 inch away side, and then the half of the layer cake. I'm going to stick 2 pieces right sides together, and I'm going to sew down one end. This doesn't exactly match up, but I'm going to center it. Sew down the long end, and then I'm also going to draw a line because I can't see it very well. I'm going to draw a line with a line drawing something. Where's my little pencils? Ah, right here. With a pencil. I'm going to draw a line from this corner down to this edge, and I'm just going to straighten that on there and get a nice drawn line. Just like that. And I'm going to sew on both sides of that line and then down my long seam.
There's one. I think an optometrist would love to hang that quilt in their office to mess with people's eyes.
Yes, this is definitely something that
For the eye doctor.
for the eye doctor's office. Yes. All right, 1/4 inch seam. I'm not using my seam guide because I'm 100% not sure what's going to happen here. And now I'm going to sew on both sides of my drawn line with a 1/4 inch.
How did we meet?
Scott and I met on Craigslist.
Yeah, believe it or not.
Back when Craigslist used to have dating, we didn't meet for dating though. It had what is the word? Casual encounters or something like that. Is that what it was? Or was it
Just hang
platonic
out.
relationships?
Just
We
hang
both
out.
had chill and Netflix things, you know, that's what we were looking for. We met as friends off of a website only to end up together and married. All right. So again, the colored one, this is what I'm doing here. The colored one was cut 1/4 inch away from the center. Then the solids were cut in half directly. And then I sewed one of the solids with one of the things you have to center it in there. I drew that line, sewed on both sides of the line and down the long. Obviously sew the long first, then the two sides. And then I'm going to repeat that with all of these, and then we're going to chop some stuff up. So I need to draw all these lines so that I can sew. Stop, Thumper. He's eating his feet. I never draw the line either, but in this case I should. Because I want to make sure this comes out. It's one of those things where you see it in a video and you're like, oh, I could do that. And then you go to do it and it's like, what the heck? That video screwed me all up. There. I probably didn't even need that many. No, I do, because I needed to cut the triangles or something like that. We're going to see. I may have screwed this up already. Line, one more. Line. All right. So, lines. I'll sew them all first. That way I don't move them all out of order. And my 1/4 inch seam without a seam guide is not very accurate. It looks to be a disaster. I'm trying to follow this line, but on the seam tape, but I'm not so great at it.
Why did you cut the one off a 1/4 of an inch and the other one straight down the middle?
Have no idea, because this has if this works, then that's why I did what I did.
Do you know what you're making yet?
I am making something pretty much up. I'm just following a technique I saw, but I'm using 10-inch squares to do so. Because I am different. When I see something online, I think of brilliant ways that I can do this and not, you know, mess up and still have all the use of all the fabric. Because I definitely like not wasting. Alright, and one more. And then we will do the next step. Alright. Next step is to cut these pieces. So I'm going to cut in between the drawn line. And then I'm also going to cut, I'm going to turn the block, line the ruler up with a line right here and from the center. This should yield me half square triangles. Half square triangles. Cut this in half. I should get 4 half square triangles from each of these pieces. So here's some more half square triangles. And I'm going to do that same thing. I'm going to cut all these up.
Am I supposed to be
Turn
ironing?
them. You can line them up on a line and then a point at the same time. So line up on a line on the ruler and then stick the point on the line on the cutting mat.
You want me ironing these?
Oh yes, can you press them towards the brown?
Okay.
Like that. So here's 4 more half square triangles. Do it again. Line, on the point, on the line, on the point. Or just line the ruler up with the straight edge, because that works too.
Oh, Thumper's bird watching.
Oh, Thumper's bird watching.
All the birds in our backyard. He's going crazy.
Were they at the popcorn again?
They're in our yard. I don't know why. But yes, they're over there.
I don't know why you're switching out. One's already ready, because I'm going to do it now because you're too slow.
What do you mean? This one has glitter all over it. I thought you'd want a good one for this.
Oh no, I'm just using what's there. Oh, one more.
There. This one will be warm by the time you get here then. I don't want you to get glitter on this one.
Okay.
That's the whole point of switching out.
Okay. All right. Now
Which side? This side have-
to the brown.
Yeah, I can do it.
Yeah, but I'm faster
Oh, well, then why'd you ask me?
because I didn't know you were going to leave the room.
What was I doing?
I have no idea.
I was eating. How was I going to iron with the computer and that and everything on my
Oh,
lap?
yeah, that's fine. No big deal. I got this.
Okay. Okay.
All right. There you go.
Oh, I can iron those?
Yeah, I just needed some to start with. All right. So now I'm going to trim these to, I think, what did I write on here? 3.5 inch half square triangles. I think that's going to be a lot of waste, but let's see. Yeah, because these are like 4.5 almost. So we're going to take them down to 3.5. I'm going to grab a different ruler though. My Quilter's Select ruler. I'm going to line it up at 3.5. And right there. Cut, spin, 3, and right there. 1, 2, 3, and spin. On the line, cut, Flip it around. Yes, I'm wasting a little bit of fabric here.
Just a little.
Just a little. I mean, I could cut it closer to this and have a whole inch right here like this to make for my scraps bin, you know.
No crafts. You got enough crafts.
But I have a lot of scraps. I am over, what is the word? I have so many scraps that I'm going crazy now.
You just made 5 scrap quilts. That's how
Yeah.
many scraps you have.
I have way more than my 5 scrap quilts worth of scraps. Like, I'm drowning in them now, and I've been organizing them for a while now. For the last couple weeks. That's all I've been doing is playing in the fabric room with my scraps. Getting them all organized. By color. Which is not something I normally do, but
Okay, what's next?
nothing that I can think of at the moment. I'm just gonna cut all this.
Any advice on cutting and stitching around pieces?
Any
Oh,
advice?
round pieces. Any advice on cutting and stitching round pieces?
Be careful and go slow. That's what I recommend if you're not me. Me, I don't care. I just jump right in and speed, so. I'm hoping this little idea comes out. How many? I have 5 of those left. I'm wondering how many squares I'm going to get from it. I'm just going to throw all that on the floor for now. I'll clean it up later. Brain ruler. There we go. Sorry, it takes me a minute to cut all this up. But we'll get to the point eventually of what I'm doing here.
Tell me if they have any questions. I can.
Yeah, if you guys have questions, now is a good time to ask questions about stuff because I am just cutting fabric. Like that. Let's make our way across. How about that? Set them all this way first, and then we'll come back and go the next direction. Why? Because I can.
Why are you cutting them so small? That is a lot of waste.
Yeah.
Why didn't you cut them bigger?
Because to get the size I need from the other pieces, I have to go smaller. Yeah, I know. But those little 1-inch cutoffs can be used for something else. I did not do that, did I? I guess I did. Okay. Guess I'm seeing things now. Guess when you cut a lot of fabric, you just start questioning yourself.
Do you plan to make a video making the same quilt using smaller strips?
For this?
I imagine they're talking about the glitter one.
Yeah, I don't know at this very moment because I already made it. And sometimes when I make something, it's, if I'm going to do the smaller one, which I said I'm probably going to do because I think the idea of a smaller one might look even better and I can add more rows. So you'll have to give me a while. I'm not going to get to it tomorrow. And I also have another suggestion video that you guys out there, people send me suggestions for things all the time. Could you make a video of this? Can you try that? And I'm kind of behind on that. But only because the next one on that list of ideas that somebody wants me to kind of give, I need to find myself a low volume jelly roll for it, and I just haven't been searching for low volume jelly rolls because I've been busy with other stuff. So I got to find a low volume one to match another jelly roll in my room somewhere, and then I can start that project. I just don't have any low volume jelly rolls, and I need a whole jelly roll's worth, not just scraps. I mean, I could use scraps, but it's a jelly roll project. So I gotta get to searching online after I choose the initial jelly roll to do it with.
What is a low volume jelly roll?
It's a jelly roll of all low volume prints. So instead of a jelly roll that has darks mixed with whatevers and everything, it's all low volume. So all the light colors from it. So lots of white, cream, light gray, whatever, low volume colors, not bright shine at you colors. All right, now I need to cut. Use with 3 4-inch halves. So now I'm going to take these that I cut off, the other half of the 10-inch squares, and I'm going to cut 4 inches off this corner right here. There, stop right there. And then I'm going to cut that in half on the diagonal. And then I'm going to take and line this up right here and go, okay, that's 4 inches. And then recut my diagonal. And then recut right here so that I get half of my 4-inch squares. If that makes any sense to you guys. Okay, it should yield me enough pieces. And then those can go down there. Those can go down there. On the floor. All right. This is how this is going to work. I'm going to grab a color. I'm going to lay it out with the, I think it's color in. Color in. Color in. No, I'm going to do brown in. That's what it is. Brown in. So I'm going to lay it, not 4-patch. It's not a 4-patch. I'm going to have one extra square. I'm only needing 3. Then I'm going to place one of these squares here, here, and here. Just like this. I'm going to sew this all together. So I'm going to start with this, and then those, and then add this. So I'm going to go right here, right sides together. I'm going to give myself a seam guide so that I can make sure that this is straight. And my idea seems to be working so far. Sorry, I was making sure it's 100% of the 1/4 inch. So I'm going to press this back with my finger for now. Lay it back, make sure I got it right. Put the next one on. No seams to nest here. I'm going to go ahead and press this one up towards the block. Lay that down. Put these together. Oh, finger press this one this way towards the block. Lay it here. I'm going to cut this dog ear off. I'm also going to press it, I think, because I want it to be super flat. Is this still on?
Yeah. I could learn.
Oops, wrong button.
Any advice on repairing older quilts?
It depends on the quilt. I've repaired a couple older quilts for people, but it depends on how bad it was tore up. Did a dog chew it up? You know what I mean? What happened to that quilt for it to get so ruined? Did it sit in the cupboard and, you know, get eaten by mites and moths? And was it in a tote and just got old? I mean, what caused it to fall apart? That way you know that whatever you fixed it with goes, oh, I sewed that corner on, is not going to do the same once you put it back together. Now I'm going to sew these 2 pieces together. I'm going to nest that seam because I pressed them in opposite directions. I'm going to go ahead and press this at the iron. Come on. Get this iron.
It steams more than this one. Just let it do its thing.
All right. So now I have a half of a triangle. I'm going to go ahead and get those dog ears off. This should be perfectly straight, so half the triangle. I'm going to find this matching color, which is right on top. And now it should match with the other half. See where I did here, guys? So now the half that was cut a 1/4 inch away is exactly the same size, or at least should be exactly the same size as your little pieced thing. Let me sew that. Be careful because it is a bias seam. And then I'm going to go ahead and press this towards the piece that I just added. And now I have a lovely block. Look at that. And I didn't even lose my points. My points are all still there.
That is cool. I like it.
Well, let's do it again. See, I knew it would work. See? Look at that. All right. next color is this one because it's literally slitting right on top. Just pull one out because I only need the 3. They're going to go in.
What are the spares going to go for?
In. I can make a 4-5 patch.
Oh,
I have no idea.
Okay.
Block, piece, triangles, you know. Triangles all go there. And then this will go on the opposite side. So again, I'm going to piece this as a row, this as a row, and this add on to it last. So I literally just right sides together. So there's a little bit of waste, you know, but it's not horrible because those 1-inch pieces I can use. So then this one goes on here. Not nesting anything at this point. And I finger press the seam this way. So when I put this one on here, I'm going to finger press it towards the block, not the triangle end. So then that goes on there. This goes on here. So I'm going to press these. I'm going to cut the dog ears off just using a rotary cutter. Put these 2 together now. Nest that seam, which is already in opposite directions. Everything's the same size it needs to be. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and add my triangle to the end and then press the whole thing. So you guys get a little bonus project today. But this is how I work when I'm preparing for a video. That's why my orphan block drawer has a lot more orphan blocks than it should. All right, now I'm going to take the matching half and I'm going to put them right sides together. And this should be the exact same size. If it's not, oh well. You can carefully trim it down. I'm just trying not to lose my points. Not trying. I don't want to, but it can happen. All right.
Will this be in the description down below? This little video?
This little add-on?
Yeah.
I can. Look at that. I didn't lose my points again. And for those curious, it gives a 9.5-inch block. 9.5-inch block. Oh, I'm loving this. All right, we got these. I need 3 of them. 1. Oops, no. Yes, this way. This way. This way. 1, 2, 3. Piece them together. This is very easy to do, actually. This is my scribbles. Literally, this is what I do. I get up at night when I have an idea, or when I watch a video and I have an idea, and then I have these little notepads all over the house, and then I scribble it all down, what I think would work, or the general idea of something, or whatever, and then however long later I make a video of it. This is how my brain works. And I'm not good with math, so sometimes things don't turn out right. But now you know why I cut a 1/4 inch away from the line, so that I can get the right size cuts, you know, but I technically didn't have to because this gave me bigger than I needed blocks anyway. So I don't even need to cut a 1/4 inch over. I can cut directly on.
Let me put this over here so they can see you're done, since I can't hang it up there.
And this one goes this way. Press them real quick. And I'll have 2 more blocks to make after this to be done with these. Cut the dog ears off. You can do a lot with this block, like flipping it, turning it, all sorts of stuff. So this is 2 layer cake project probably. A layer cake of dark and a layer cake of light, or 3.5 yards of a your background or the off. You know what I mean? The squares. Press this. Trim off dog ears. Add the other side. I like this. This is a good idea.
Yes, it is. It's looking pretty cool.
You could probably do it scrappy too and not put the matching colors together. There's another block. So you don't even have to put the matches together, you know. One of these, 3 of these. 1, 2, nope, wrong way. Am I angly challenged all of a sudden? That's so weird. That did not work out for me. So when I do this like this and I cut those extra pieces, cutting all your leftover pieces, because I used 5 blocks here, right? So I'm going to lay this here, here, here. And in making a quilt, since I used 5 prints and 5 solid pieces to do this, I literally have 5 pieces left over of these. So if you used a whole layer cake plus a whole layer cake of your solid, you would have plenty of pieces. You wouldn't run out of triangles cutting it the way it was cut off like that just now. So technically there was no real waste. I was still getting the right amount of pieces, you know, that are needed, all from just the 2 squares each. So that's actually good. You want projects like that, you know, where even though I'm trimming with waste, but I was able to use the whole piece. You know what I mean? So I hope that makes sense. Yeah, this is exactly, everything's fitting just right. It's great. Love it. I totally am going to make a whole entire quilt with this. Now I just have to use it, find a layer cake to use. Not like I have any shortage of them. I don't have any solid ones, so I'll have to cut that, but ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm loving it. My McDonald's commercial. It just came to my head.
You're a nut. It does. It looks like the Birds in Flight quilt block.
It does. And it went easier than I had hoped. So you don't have to, I mean, you're still piecing half square triangles, but you're not having to go and dig through the pile because you have all your pieces that match together. You know? I like it. 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 One more. And then I'll have 5 blocks. And they'll just go in my orphan block drawer. Because that's where everything ends up. Which is fine, because when I finally make an orphan quilt, oh, it's going to have so much in it. I was literally playing with all those the other day while I was organizing in the fabric room, and yeah. I didn't realize the orphan block drawer goes back like 5 or 6 years worth of quilts. That's since the last time I emptied it and made something with it all. Here. Yeah, see how quick these go? These go pretty quick. And I'm making 1 block at a time. Normally I chain piece stuff. So 1 block at a time is going pretty quick. Then chain piecing will go even faster.
Anne wants to know if her orphan block quilt made you sick.
No, it did not. It was very fun to do. It's on its way back to you.
I told her.
It went into yesterday's mail.
No, it's going today.
Or today's, it goes in today's mail.
I told her. It's getting mailed out today after this show. Because the post office
We
just
tapped
opened.
it yesterday.
Yeah, post office just opened.
I sent you pictures and a text. All right, where's the other half? Bam. Line it up on there. Sew it on. Ta-da! All right, let me move all this out of the way. And there's enough pieces here, honestly. Let's see, hold on a second. Let me have a moment. That won't work. Yeah, probably is not going to work. Brain.
She said she didn't get a text.
Oh, here we go.
Tiffany.
She didn't get a text.
Yeah.
That wouldn't work. Won't work. Anyway, I was just messing around with the leftover pieces, you know, because I can, but that's not going to work. Anyway, I have some leftover pieces, which if you made a whole quilt with all this, you would have leftover pieces that you can turn into, you know, a side project for it. So these can be put in all sorts of ways. They can all go in opposite directions. You can match them up. You can do this. Let's just put this one in here. Only because that one's technically a double. You can make it go like that. All right, you've seen enough of this. We're going to put these on the wall because they're easier seen that way.
Ah, good.
Just going to put them right here, like this. So you can make something that looks like this, you know, and all your blocks be opposites. You can make them all come together in the center. This. Or you can make them all, yeah, I'm done with the iron. You can make them all go the same direction. That. You can have one row going this way.
The camera doesn't pick up the brown one at that distance.
Oh, and then the other row going this way. Which one? This one?
No, the other one. The one that's all brown. Yeah. I mean, you can kind of see it, but it's hard.
But yeah, you can do all sorts of things with this. You can make them go whatever which way. Rows going one, the other. You know? This would definitely be a fun one to... I'm definitely going to do this whole entire thing as a quilt.
That is cool. I like it.
Yeah. And I didn't lose any of these points at all. Not one. I have every single point still. So the measurements were perfect for the cuts that are needed. Because I have straight edges right here and I won't lose my points on the outside edge either because they're all 1/4 inch. So that actually worked out perfect. Look at that.
Do you have any more of those colors? I like those colors. Or is that it?
Nope, that was it. That was the last of it. I used it all.
Oh.
I used all of it.
Oh.
All right. I'm going to sit.
Yeah, sit down and talk to him.
I am done with... Oh, hey, I was going to show you guys. I organized... So the bottom of my closet used to be all scraps.
Oh, yeah, show them that.
Piles and piles of scraps and batting. And those of you who have seen my closet in videos knew that it was a disaster. Now you can see the floor. See? There's nothing there. But now I have no excuses not to get these started on, at least. I don't have no room to put any right now, but those are all the quilts that need quilted. And those are now all my 108 backings. Every single one of those is a 108 backing. You can see there's repeats in there, obviously. Yeah, so I have no excuses not to get those bigger quilts done. Look at that. I'm all organized. Not by color, though, right there. I just organized it by style of the back. All right. Now that that's done. Slide these over so they could still be on the screen.
Tell them what we did yesterday.
Oh, you can even put these on point. I just thought about that right now. So you can have them on point even. That would be so cool. Obviously, you can't see this one. Yeah, look at that. Oh, that'd be awesome on point. Yeah. All the ideas just scrolling through my head. All right. Did you ask a question? Is that what you said? What did you say?
I said answer questions. I said tell them what you did yesterday.
What did I do yesterday?
What did we do together?
I long arm quilted. I hurt my toe.
No, what did we do together?
We made dinner together.
Mhm.
You know, one day a couple weeks back, this is a couple weeks ago, I go to Scott and I'm like, dinner wise, we need to do. Let's try shake and bake. I haven't had shake and bake since the kids were little, and they used to love to shake it all together in a bag. For one, shake and bake, the off brands do not come with a bag to shake them anymore like they used to. So we had to dig through. Oh, it's a good thing I keep plastic brand new thing of bags in here to put scraps in. I'm glad I had the whole box of those. So we grabbed one of those and shake the chicken in it.
Oh, we'd have been doing one piece at a time. We would have been doing one piece at a time. And the tiny little sandwich bags, because we didn't have bags, but I forgot that I keep some in here for scraps. So we decided to have shake and bake, and I'm like, so I tell him shake and bake. So it takes him a while because he went to the store and he looks, there's no shake and bake. He goes back to the store, there's no shake and bake. He can't find the darn shake and bake. And so finally he finds shake and bake, and I was like, well, let's have cornbread with it too, because we haven't had cornbread. I mean, we've had cornbread that other people have made for us, but we haven't actually made cornbread since my daughter Alexa used to live at home. Like, it's been a long time. So we made cornbread, shake and bake chicken, and then broccoli and baked beans, and the bacon, maple cured bacon baked beans, because you know me and my bacon, I like anything bacon flavored. But yeah, we made dinner together yesterday, and it turned out to be very good. Scott was eating the chicken before the cornbread was even done. But yeah, so we made dinner yesterday, and then I finally relaxed after that. I worked in my fabric room for a little while last night, but I've been working in there every single night for about an hour, hour and a half-ish, and I have not made much progress. My dresser that my son Cyrus had left behind, I kept all the fat quarters in that dresser. I show you guys in the making a backing out of fat quarters video, the dresser filled with fat quarters. I do not fill a dresser with fat quarters in a cheap Walmart dresser. Nope. It needs to be like a solid wood dresser, because all the backs of all the drawers fell in. That was how much fat quarters are in there. So I spent time taking all the fat quarters out, taking all the fabric out of the plastic drawers, because it works in the plastic drawers. I took all the fabric out of those, put the fat quarters in those, and now moved the fabric little by little in piles all over the room, and just put what I need to cut. Like, you know, I iron the fabric before cutting it into sizes. That's neatly folded into those drawers, but not a lot of fabric, because it's going to fall apart like soon. It doesn't hold much weight. Oh, congratulations, Jim. 33 years. That's awesome. Tell them so Sunday and then QuiltCon.
Oh yeah, so Sunday, this Sunday, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't have a started project, huh? No. I probably should do like a table runner or something though. I don't want to start something big, because the following Sunday I will be at QuiltCon. I will still be going live, but I won't be here in this room. It'll be probably with Becca and Ian. Hopefully with Becca and Ian at the Airbnb that we'll be at. If not, I'll still be at the QuiltCon, but outside somewhere, and I'll just go live from there real quick. But this Sunday, we're going to hopefully do something like a table runner or something. I'll go choose whatever, but I don't want to start anything big. And then I will be at QuiltCon. I leave here the 18th, right? Or 19th?
Wednesday.
I leave here next Wednesday, and I won't be back until Monday, the following Monday. I'll be down in Phoenix. So if you want to meet me in person and you're in the Phoenix area or somewhere in Arizona and able to drive to Phoenix like I am, even though I
do not like long car trips anymore because my hips, and right now I'm struggling with my back like really, really badly. Just thought I'd let you know that. Yeah, if you're in those areas and you can drive to it, QuiltCon is pretty fun to go to. So I hopefully can meet you there. Holy moly, Mary's 51 years. That's a long time. They've been married since they was teenagers. Not really, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I saw that Joann's is closing. We don't have a Joann's here.
He's got one in Bullhead.
We have one in Bullhead, but it's on the list of the ones that are closing. So maybe, just maybe, when I find out when it's closing, maybe Scott and I could take a trip to Bullhead and go pilfer through fabric deals from a closing store. Hopefully, we'll see.
Where will QuiltCon be next year?
QuiltCon next year,
2026?
they usually don't announce that till QuiltCon, like right after QuiltCon, then they'll announce the year where the next year or following year is going to be. But most likely it will be in Raleigh, North Carolina again. From what the grapevine says, it's going to alternate between North Carolina and Raleigh and Phoenix, Arizona, because those are somebody told me it's because the venues are cheaper than doing Los Angeles or Dallas, Texas, or, like big, huge cities, or, well, I don't even know about New York or anything like that, but you know what I mean? They're affordable and they're in betweens, this is all West Coast here. So it's California can travel to it easily into Phoenix, and Nevada can travel to it easily. New Mexico can travel to it easily because of the location of it. It's just a couple hours away. I'm technically next to California. I'm up on the California Nevada corner of Arizona, so it's a 4.5-ish hour drive for me.
Okay, that's about it.
All right, guys. Well, I don't see any more questions. Scott don't see any more. So I'm going to go ahead and get off of here and go actually eat breakfast because, we already had some quilt breakfast, but we need some actual substance and then relax. So I'll see you guys all later. And what?
Move this side so they can see.
Oh,
that I
yeah.
can.
If I remember, I'll try to put the numbers in the description below the video after the live, after I'm done eating. So see you guys. Bye.